Okay, good morning. Welcome to
MathIdeas70.
70. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the marker wrote a little light today. I'm going to try a different marker tomorrow. There are 4 dogs at the park. Tinky, Dolo, Max, and Whiskey. How many different groups of 2 dogs can play together? Okay, so we're going to try to figure out how many different ways we can make groups of 2 dogs.
Well, Tinky and Max can play together.
Okay, well let's do that. Maybe we can just list them out. Actually, let me get a better marker. Just to save time writing, let's call the dogs T, D, M, and W. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So why don't you want to start with Tinky?
Mm-hmm.
Who can Tinky play with first?
Tinky can play with Dolo.
Okay, so let's write that pair down. Write it as TD. Okay, maybe circle it. Okay, that's number 1. Who else can Tinky play with?
Tinky can play with Max.
Okay, so write that down. Oops. You wrote W. Write an M for Max. Good. And who else can Tinky play with?
Tinky can also play with Whiskey.
Okay. Now, and that's number 3. Is that everybody? Can Tinky play with anybody else?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it looks like Tinky's played with everybody. Do you think Tinky's happy about that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Whiskey chased the ball away from Tinky?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Well, how about Dolo?
Okay, who can Dolo play with now? Now we'll go up here. Dolo. Who can Dolo play with?
Well, Dolo can't play with Tinky.
Right, Dolo already played with Tinky. So who can Dolo play with that she hasn't played with already? Max, okay. You trying not to block the camera?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Okay, so that's Dolo and Max. Can Dolo play with anybody else?
Dolo can play with Whiskey.
Okay, so write that. Dolo can play with Whiskey. Good job. And what number is that? How many pairs have we counted so far?
5.
5.
No.
Can Dolo play with anybody else?
I don't think so.
Dolo's played with Tinky, Dolo's played with Max, and Dolo's played with Whiskey. Okay, so who should we move on to next?
Max.
Max, okay. Who can Max play with?
Max can play with Whiskey.
Okay. Why not Tinky?
Because Tinky's already played with her.
Okay, why not Dolo?
She's already played with him.
Right here. Okay, so I'll write it for you. Max and Whiskey play. Well, Max and Whiskey play, and that's number 6. Now, can Max play with anybody else?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No.
Because Max has already played with Tinky, Dolo, and Whiskey. Now, who can Whiskey play with?
Nobody.
Why not?
Because they've all played with...
Whiskey's already played with Tinky. Whiskey's already played with Dolo. And Whiskey's already played with Max. So how many groups of 2 dogs can we make to play together?
6.
6. That's pretty neat. And so when we were writing this down, here's the way we thought about it. We wrote down the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Tinky, Dolo, Max, and Whiskey. And then we just said, who can Tinky play with? So we looked at the first dog, and the first dog played with these 3. And that was everybody the first dog could play with. Then we looked at the second dog, and we said, well, the second dog's already played with Tinky, so the second dog can play with Max and Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Then we looked at the third dog, and we said, hey, the third dog's already played with Tinky and Dolo, so there's only 1 dog left to play with, Whiskey. Then when we got to Whiskey, we said, hey, look at that, Whiskey's already played with everybody. Okay? So your homework problem is going to have 5 of, I'm not sure if they're dogs or not, but it's going to have 5. So you're going to do it the same way. You're going to write out the 5, maybe just using letters or something. And you're going to say, who can the first one play with? Who can the second one? The third one? Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Damn. That's a good counting problem.
Yay!